Good morning. This is Nick, and this is Coffee with Nick. Hope you're doing well. Today, I want to talk a little bit about interior painting. The funny thing is I will literally get questions from homeowners that say, "Hey, do you guys paint interiors? Like, do you paint walls?" And I always have to hold myself back. I'm like, our name, it's Walls by Design. So yes, we paint walls. And I say that, but I do know why this happens. It happens because we have built a reputation over the last 10 years of being this great cabinet painting company. And while, yes, we do interior painting. Now, I will say over the last 10 years, we didn't do a huge volume of interior painting. Now, for whatever reason, all of a sudden we are. We have a full interior starting today. I have another full interior starting tomorrow, and we have several on the books. But I want to talk a little bit about interior painting. And so what we would find is people would call us in for the cabinets, and there would be another team there, another painting company that either just finished or is coming after us, and they've hired another company to paint their interior. And we might have had the opportunity. Maybe they were one of those ones that thought, oh, these are just the cabinet guys, right? But sometimes we have given a price for the walls, and they don't choose us because we're a little bit more expensive. But what we would see, I would be disgusted. I would be appalled when I would see these crews that would come in to paint these interiors, because they would not have what I would consider professional equipment. They would have plastic that as their drop cloths. And while we utilize plastic on almost every project, we use it to go over furniture, on cabinets, covering TVs, those kinds of things, right? We're always going to use drop cloths, or for lack of a better word, I'm just saying construction paper that gets taped down to the hardwoods. And, most of the time, these companies that we will be, priced out from is that they are subcontracting, these teams. And most of the time on those teams, nobody speaks English, which we have some crews that not everybody speaks English, but we always make sure somebody speaks English. Just did a video on another one of these about how we utilize subcontractors. So if you want to know more about that, go watch that video. So there isn't quite the view from a homeowner that interior painting is hard, right? It's easy. Most homeowners could do it, but they're like, oh, I can't do these I have 18-foot ceilings in my family room here that I'm sitting in, and they don't want to paint those high ceilings, right? There's a lot of things that I believe are super important about hiring a painting company to come inside, right? So anytime you're doing trim painting, that is more specialized. It's not quite, I would put cabinetry at the top. Then I would say I would put trim carpentry or trim painting as kind of the next hardest type of painting. But the other factors that I want people to think about when they're hiring a painting company is we're bringing strangers into our house. All my guys that work for me full time, I've done background checks. My newest painter that works for me, Kate, has been with me for almost 6 years. So I know them very well. And the other parts of, hiring a painting company is, and this is where I think we really, really shine, is in the communication and the process and just the whole experience of using a painting company. We hear it all the time. Oh, I hired this guy. He's kind of a solo guy. He's a great guy, but man, Nick, his life is a mess. And he told us it was going to take 5 days. He started, then we didn't see him for a couple days. It took him 3 weeks to paint my interior. And we hear that quite a bit. And so, hiring us, we're going to give you a date and we're going to hit that date. And then we're going to tell you a rough idea of how long it's going to take. And that's what it's going to take. We've been doing this for 26 years. And I would say, I haven't done it in a while, but I think 2 years ago, I looked at our data as far as how many jobs we started on time or early. And it was like 95%. And that's in our process in how we schedule. When we schedule a project, I look at our Gantt chart of our projects. We use Google Calendar or Google Drive and Google Spreadsheets for our scheduling. And so I look at our calendar, I find who we have available that can do the project. And then we will tell you we are going to start the week of the 15th, right? So we're in the week of the 15th right now. That means we're going to start it between Monday and Thursday. We don't start projects on Fridays anymore unless we have a move-in situation. So we're going to start that week, Monday to Thursday. And that only has gotten pushed a couple of times. Even this year, I think maybe we've missed 2. And those dates that we missed are typically because somebody got sick and we didn't hit the Thursday. And so it didn't make any sense to start it on Friday. So we started it the next Monday. So that's when we miss. It's not like we've missed by weeks. We've missed by a day or 2. And so, but we schedule loosely. I'm constantly having to move things around from one team to another. And so for these reasons, we don't tell our homeowners what day we are starting until the Friday before. So on Fridays, we look at the schedule, and that's when we nail down which day, which team is starting which project. And so because of that, we have a very, very reliable on-time scheduling process for our customers. Our industry, painting, construction, you know how it normally goes. They tell you one week, and they may or may not tell you until the day before you're expecting them that they're not going to be there for a week or 2. It just happens all of the time. I hear it all of the time. That's why in one of my other videos recently, I talked about, we've taken on a lot of the smaller ancillary items like trim carpentry, drywall, countertops, because when our homeowners are managing that with other people, it's really hard for them to hit the dates they tell us. So what happens is a couple days before we're supposed to start a project, a homeowner will call us and say, oh, the countertop guys aren't done. They've just told me they're not going to be here for another 2 weeks. That kills our schedule, right? And so what that does on our schedule is now I have a hole. And so now we're trying to pull customers forward. And so that's what we end up doing a lot of times is we'll call our customers and ask, hey, can we pull you forward? We had an opening that we didn't foresee until yesterday, right? And so because of all that, we have a very, very reliable schedule. And that's another reason why working with us is so good. And that's what our customers really like, that we tell you a date and we're going to stick to it. I mean, I'm not going to say we're infallible because we have missed a day or 2, but our track record speaks for itself. I would say we're at least 95% on time or early versus, hey, we can't come till next week. It just doesn't happen for us as a whole. So, and then on the back end of the project, how easy is it to get that team to come back? If you have problems, if you find things. So we have a really tight process for finishing up a project. You're going to walk the project with your painter, and we're going to make sure that everything is 100% buttoned up. And then we're going to move on to our next project. And it's very infrequent that customers call us a week, 2 weeks and say, hey, we have this major problem. It just doesn't happen. So process is very important to us. Systems are very important to us. And so if any of that matters to you around painting your interior, please give us a call. We just finished a pretty big interior painting for a homeowner in Littleton, couple $1 million house. They called us for cabinets. Actually, we were brought in by the interior designer because of our reputation for cabinets. And then we ended up doing the whole interior project. So we were doing ceilings and walls and trim throughout the house. It was great. Great project. Homeowners were super happy with us at the end. I believe we've made a customer for life on that project. They didn't think that, or they didn't know that we painted interiors, and the interior designer had a different painter in mind. But then she thought, why would I bring in another company? They're going to be here. Let's just keep it with Walls by Design. So if you have interior or cabinets, please give us a call. All right. Have a great day.